So my son, his hair was getting all shaggy. I think my son rocks it. But. It's 5:30, so we'll call to order this meeting for Monday, February 7th. Carl, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Remley. He's just logging in. That's why I'm
See his
hesitating.
name on there.
Councilmember Remley.
Not hearing anything.
Councilmember Remley.
He said here in the middle of that statement.
It's present.
Oh, hang on just a second. I see.
You sit on
No.
mute.
He's good.
Struggle.
Or you just
Mark, we could hear you a second
Why don't
ago.
you
Can you
just
say
have me do
present?
Oh, unmute. I could have done that if you told me that.
I could put it in my hair.
Councilmember Remley. Now he's muted. He's here.
Yeah, he's moving.
Here,
Oh, there
Present.
we are. Thanks, Mark.
really.
Lunsman. Rife.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold.
Present.
Langer.
Present.
Rux.
Present.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Not aware of any changes to this week's agenda, so I would take a motion to approve it as printed and distributed.
Move approval.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Lunsman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Next, we've got the approval of the minutes of the last meeting, which took place on January 24th. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Johnson. Does anyone have any changes? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Next, we've got the consent calendar, as we've got known to speak for the open forum. We've got one single item with a number of bid dates to be set for consent calendar. Can I get a motion to approve our consent calendar listing?
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Lunsman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We'll move along to our old business, where we've got possible second reading and final adoption of ordinance 220102, which rezones property described as Lot 2, Randall First Subdivision at 151622 and 1526 South Harriet Street from R2 to M District. And Brett, any changes on that?
No changes from the last meeting, Mayor.
Sounds good. Sounds like it was just some busy work that Northern is doing down there. So went approved without reservation last week. Can I get a motion on that second and final reading, please?
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Reinbold. Does anyone have anything to say before we take this vote? All right, then Carl, would you give us a roll call?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible second reading as well as the final adoption of ordinance 220103, which rezones property describes as lot 1 and 2 and north 3 foot of lot number 3 subdivision at the Simmons First Edition, which is at 1217 and 1219 South Lincoln from R2 to M as well, much like the last one. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Does anyone have anything to contribute on this one? Otherwise, Carl, would you give us a roll call on the final adoption of this ordinance, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible second reading and final adoption of ordinance number 220104, which rezones property described as Lot 2, Johnson's replat of lots 5 and 6, Block 26, as well as Lot 2, Johnson's first replat of Johnson's replat of 5 and 6, which is all at 215 and 219 12th Avenue Southeast from commercial and residential 4 to municipal district. Can I get a motion on that second and reading and final adoption, please?
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Rife. Any discussion on this one? Carl, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible second reading and final adoption of ordinance 220105, which rezones property described as the South Dakota Recreational Trail Edition between 3rd Avenue and 24th Avenue Northeast from various districts all to municipal as well as A2 district. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold, second from Councilman Rux. This one is not northern, it's the city's doing. It's about the bike trail, but it seems like it was necessary nonetheless. Carl, would you give us a roll call vote on that second reading, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Move along to our new business section of the meeting where we've got a public hearing and possible approval of a special 5-day liquor license on the dates of February 9th through 13th of this year for Act 2 Incorporated, which does business as Aberdeen Community Theater at 415 South Main. Looking around, it looks like no one is here to speak on that topic, so would someone from the council be willing to champion this issue?
Moved. Second.
Mark must not be able to find his mute button. Mark, you with us? Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Rux. Any discussion to be had on this?
No.
There you go.
All righty then.
What do we need discussed?
No discussion necessary. It seems as though I'm on board with it. The rest of the council seems to be. Carl, would you give us a roll call vote on that approval, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our request approval to purchase computer desktops and laptops from Dell Computer Company in the amount of $38,247 for various city departments. And Carl, what can you tell us about that?
Thank you, Mayor. Every year at this time, we take inventory of the computers that are needed, and we go out and get quotes in the computer department. We're looking at several desktops and several laptops. We did go out to Dell to get quotes, and to State Contract and to CDWG. The quote from Dell is the best quote. If you look at the quote page behind the cover sheet, you can see that the CPU pass mark is best for the Dell options. The memory is on the top, and the solid state drives are at the top, and they have the lowest quote. So we would recommend approval of purchasing the annual laptop desktop from Dell.
I'll move to approve that.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Johnson. Does anyone have any questions on these purchases? Carl, what's an Optiplex 3090 small form factor?
An Optiplex? That's a desktop unit.
Okay. That's a fancy name. Desktop unit. Hadn't heard that one before. Does anyone else have any questions? Carl, would you give us a roll call vote on that purchase, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold, Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got a recommendation to accept bids for the 2022 water treatment chemicals, carbon from Atlas Carbon LLC and Donow Carbon US LLC. And here to tell us about that is Bob Braun. Bob, what can you tell us about those?
Yeah, we had our carbons that they bid performance tested. It took a little longer this year. There was a problem getting a hold of the test material. But these carbons have come in to give us the best performance factor. So they've proven over the last couple of years now to give us the best price per pound for removal of taste and odor from our water.
Move to approve?
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reif and a second from Councilwoman Langer. It looks like the prices increased pretty substantially on this one year over year.
A lot of our chemicals have increased quite a bit. So, and it's not just us; it's other people as well. I've talked to them. So.
Thanks for checking into that. Any questions from the council?
I have a quick. Is there any?
Josh.
Has there been any problems in getting the chemicals?
Right now, we're doing pretty good. There was a while last fall, we had problems getting carbon because the one company had their kiln down and the other one was having a hard time, so we had to go to an outside supplier. So we've been fortunate for the most part. We keep enough in hand to try to keep a month ahead of time.
All right, we've got our motion and our second. Carl, would you give us a roll call vote on this, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thank you, Bob. Next, we've got the recommendation to accept bids and approve the purchase of 5 fleet vehicles from Pearson Ford here in Aberdeen. Joe, what can you tell us about those vehicles?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This was actually a rebid. If you'll recall, towards the end of 21, we bid out these vehicles to get ahead of the process. We were maybe too far ahead or too far behind at that time. It's just hard to tell anymore with the vehicle market. We had 5 different vehicles. We'd probably purchase up to 7 of them. If you remember at that time, we had one bidder submit for one vehicle, so we just decided to go back out. So that's what we did. The good news is we did get one bidder who submitted for all 5 types of vehicles. You'll see in there for the police vehicles, both the large SUV, the midsize SUV, and a compact pickup. They fell right where we thought they would and recommend purchase of those as planned. However, when we start talking about the larger pickups, both the half tons and the 3/4 tons, those are some of the highest demand in a really tight auto market. So there's no discounts for those anymore at the government level. That's about $7,000 a piece. So we're not recommending any purchasing of half-ton pickups, but the 3/4 ton, those are our more heavier used. They get to be higher mileage. They're passed around to lots of departments. We need to keep that part of the fleet going, so we recommend purchasing one of those. So instead of 7, we're recommending a purchase of 5 total vehicles, coming to a total of $186,711.
Move to approve. Oh, second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Rux. And so the F-250 would have normally had a $7,000 discount attached had it not
Correct.
been for current circumstances, but the rest are where they should be.
Yes.
Any questions or comments from the council? What did it look like from time-wise for sourcing these things?
Nobody wants to say. It's when they get here. You know, we would hope for 6 months. I don't know that we'll see that.
Carl, would you give us a roll call vote to accept those bids, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thank you, Joe. Next, we've got the request approval to enter into an agreement with Stryker's ALS 360, 10-year comprehensive replacement and rental of an ambulance emergency medical service equipment. And here to tell us about that is Chief Joel Weig. Chief, what can you tell us about this agreement?
Hey, thank you, Mayor. Our ambulances all carry major equipment, including a power load, which loads the cot into the ambulance. That includes a cot, our life packs, and our Lucas device, which does the compressions for CPR, and a stair chair. All 5 of our ambulances include this equipment, and they're becoming of various ages. And the Stryker ALS 360 10-year comprehensive replacement plan, what it would do is take all this equipment that we have and replace it with the most modern and up-to-date equipment. So all the equipment would be exactly the same in all 5 ambulances. And then upon request between years 3 and 5, we could replace that same equipment for the most current equipment at that time. And then at year 10, we could purchase the equipment for $1. This was going to be proposed a couple of weeks ago to you, and we had budgeted for it in the 2022 budget for $111,130 annual payments. And then a week ago, the South Dakota Department of Health in Governor Noem's budget proposal, she is budgeting life packs for all ambulances in the state of South Dakota. So with that being in mind, the cost for the LS 360 would not include those life packs. So the price for the 10 years annual payments would be $90,130.
Move to approve.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Rux. So the difference is really the fact that the state is providing some of the equipment, these
Correct.
life
The state
packs.
will be purchasing the same exact equipment that we were originally requesting.
Thank you very much. And how many units or how many ambulances do these outfit?
5.
Are these going to be changed like the original agreement with the rest of the gear after year 3 to 5, or is this
Correct.
with those life packs they have to last the whole 10 years?
No, the ones from the state, we've been in contact with Stryker, and Stryker will replace those as well at year 5.
Well, it's not a bad deal.
No, it's a pretty good deal.
So we've got our motion and our second. Any other questions? All right. Carl, would you give us a roll call vote on that agreement then?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion is carried. Thank you for joining us, Joel.
Thank you.
So we've got our request approval to enter into an engineering services agreement with HR Green in the amount of $33,100 for electrical system upgrades to the water treatment plant. And Bob is back to tell us about that. Bob, thanks for joining us again. What have you got for this agreement?
This is to have HR Green design and prepare the bid documents for repairing our generator transmission lines from the generator to the new building. There's 12 main lines and 4 of them are failed, and we don't know when the others will fail. Initially, I guess they determined that probably the wrong insulation was installed. Lines with the wrong type of insulation for going underground was installed. So we need to get this repaired so then we can have a reliable backup.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Rux. Bob, did you guys discover this by doing testing on those, or how did you know
We
that Ford would
discovered
fail?
it when we didn't have any more power.
So you pretty regularly rely on the backup water?
No, we run the generator every other week. or actually every Thursday it's ran to test it. But last summer we were having problems with our main power transmission going out, blowing fuses, and then the generator wasn't working that day. So we had a day without any power we had to work with.
Let's get that taken care of. So we got a motion and our second. Carl, would you give us a roll call vote on this agreement?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thanks for joining us again, Mr. Braun. Next, we've got possible approval to license to permit fence encroachment on the right-of-way abutting Second Street overpass. And Robin, are you going to hit that one, or is that?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So what you see here at this item is a fence encroachment for some property that's right next to the overpass. And we were approached by the manager at that property, Dakota Oil, and what they've had is some issues with people getting behind there. There's a small space between their building and the overpass where there have been graffiti and other actions going on that shouldn't be. And they approached about putting a couple of fences to limit access there. And then also on what would be the southwest corner of their property, another access or another fence that would border their entire property line plus go into that right of way. And after visiting with Robin, it appeared that this would be a favorable action, so we recommend approval of the license encroachment.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Any questions from the council on this one?
Is there any other issues with the other parts of the overpass?
Boy,
Or is that the only?
There might
part?
be. I don't know. I just know that was a problem for them. They did not like the fact that there was graffiti and stuff behind their building, and they wanted to clean it up and restrict access.
At times, graffiti sprayed on there. Our guys have gone to take care of that at that time, but we typically, once it's reported, we have to send somebody else to go ahead and repair it. We were not aware of what was going on behind this building. It's in a really tight alleyway that most people just don't go to.
Carl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $11,050.05, as well as payment number 2 in the amount of $143,277.89 to Ringenberg Electric for the Melgard Road Lawson Street Traffic Signal Project. And Robin, what can you tell us about these payments?
The change order primarily is upsizing of some conduit and wire, and the plans did not contemplate left turn arrows for one of the phases, so we needed to make sure that was put in. And then the intersection is working fine at this point, and we're recommending reduction of the retainage from 10% down to 1%. And there are a couple items that will be done in the spring of the year, and then we'll come back to you to reduce the retainage back to 0. So we recommend approval.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilwoman Langer. Any questions on this project or payment? Carl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the review and approval of claims and payroll, which includes the bills for the list of this week for February 7th, as well as the payroll from the periods of January 30th through February 12th, as well as all the associated employee taxes and payments with that. Can I get a motion to approve those bills and payroll payments, please?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Lunsman and a second from Councilman Reinbold. Any Questions on any of these, or else? Carl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the city manager's report here to tell us about that is Joe God.
Just a couple of little short things. One, next week is the week we don't have a council meeting. So the next meeting would usually be on Monday, the 21st, but that's a holiday, so it will be on Tuesday, the 22nd. So just think about that, put that in your calendars. And also, I said that January and February were easy on the employee milestones, so I would probably present them a little differently. We just had one in February, and we've already presented it, so I'm just going to read it, and then I'm done for the month on the milestones. But Dennis Cornder and the water treatment plant hit the big 20-year milestone. So thanks to him for all his service, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Dennis. And next, we will have our executive session to discuss a personnel matter. So I would take a motion to move to executive session, and then we'll take a few minutes to
Move to adjourn to executive session. Second.
motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Reinbold. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We will pick up an executive session in just a little bit.